Highbridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents The House of Wolfe by James Carlos Blake, read by David DeSantos. Wolfe Landing, Texas. Rudy. It's been a slower Sunday than most in the doghouse. Only a half-dozen of us still here. Not counting the cantina's resident tomcats, one-eyed orange Captain Kiddo and all-black Sugar Ray, who are dozing on the ledge above the back bar. I'm playing dollar-a-hand blackjack at the bar with my cousins Charlie Fortune and Eddie Gatto. I'm behind the counter with Charlie. Lila, the barmaid, is doing the dealing. My brother Frank and the professor are sharing a pitcher at a side table. It started raining around midday, and it's still coming down. Light, but steady. The temperatures dropped through the afternoon, but the front doors still open, as well as the windows under the propped-out hurricane shutters. Everybody's wearing flannel or sweats, except for Charlie, who's in a sleeveless t-shirt proclaiming, "An armed society is a polite society." He's the reason the windows are open. It's his joint and he likes it cool, which for him doesn't cross over to cold till it hits the freeze mark. The air's heavy with the smells of the river and muddy vegetation, and there's a loud, steady runoff from the roof gutters into the rain barrels. All in all, a pleasant January evening in the Texas Delta. A night on which the last thing you'd expect is hazard. There's not much likelihood of even some passing stranger dropping in, since Wolfe Landing isn't on the way to anywhere else. We're out in the boonies, midway between Brownsville and the mouth of the Rio Grande, on 60 acres in the middle of the last palm groves on the river. A lush little forest, actually, with a good share of hardwoods hung with Spanish moss. Outside the grove, it's almost all scrubland and mud flats between Brownsville and the Gulf of Mexico. Wolfe Landing has been a duly chartered town since 1911, and is named after our founding ancestors, but with a population of only 66, and nothing but dirt lanes except for tar and gravel Main Street, we're really no more than a hamlet. Whenever we speak of town, we mean Brownsville. You could pass by on the road to Boca Chica Beach and never know we're here except for the little roadside sign reading Wolfe Landing, 1 mile, with an arrow pointing down the sandy lane that winds through the scrub and into the palms. Even at night you can't see the landing's lights for the trees. Once in a blue moon somebody will swing down here just out of curiosity, but otherwise nobody visits except on Saturday evenings to enjoy the doghouse supper specials. Seafood gumbo or barbecue ribs, take your pick. And most of those visitors are Brownsville regulars. Charlie loves to cook and likes to draw a crowd to the cantina once a week. Never mind that those Saturday nights almost always involve at least one fistfight, which is anyhow generally viewed as part of the entertainment. But woe to him who pulls a knife in a fight, and very serious woe to whoever introduces a gun. Charlie wins a 6th straight hand, and grins big as he rakes the $3 over to his pile. Eddie says he has to wonder if somebody he will leave unnamed is slipping winners to her boss. Lila smiles sweetly and gives him the finger. "Eloquent," Eddie says, and heads off to the men's room. Halfway there, he looks back and gives her a wink, and she returns it. They've been an item around here for the past couple of months. Charlie doesn't miss the winks either, and he rolls his eyes at me. Siboney comes to an end on the replica Wurlitzer, and Frank goes over and punches in a moody, seedy set of Sinatra that goes well with a night like this. You've never seen such a diverse array on a juke as Charlie has in this one. Everything from Hank Williams to Javier Cugat to the Rolling Stones. But about half the selections are big band standards. There's occasional complaint about all the Glenn Miller and Artie Shaw, but Charlie just shrugs and says nobody has to listen to it. His bar, his music. No sober patron ever argues the matter. He's an imposing figure, Charlie. The only wolf known to have achieved 6 feet in height. He's majorly muscled, but supple, and quick as a snake. His buzz-cut hair and close-cropped beard and the white scar through an eyebrow all add to the effect. He's 10 years older than Frank and twice that much older than Eddie, and we're all in good shape, too. But none of us would stand a chance against him one-on-one. Maybe not even 2-on-1. Lila uncaps another Negra Modelo for him and Shiner Bach for me, and asks if we want to play a hand while we wait for Eddie. Charlie looks at me. "What say, Rudy Max?" I say, "Why not?" And Lila starts shuffling the cards. Eddie and I got back earlier today from running a load down to Boca Doble on the Tamaulipas coast last night. And as usual, on the day after a run, I'm feeling pretty good. Most deliveries go off without a hitch, but you never know. Every time you go out on one, you have to be very much on your toes. And even if you don't run into any trouble, you're pumped on adrenaline the whole while. This time it was 3 cases of M4s, 3 of Belgium FALs, 3 cases of ammo for each type of rifle, a carton of clear-cover Beta-C mags, and a Dragunov sniper rifle equipped with the works. An altogether very pricey load. It's what we do. We Wolfes. Besides the law firm and the South Texas Realty Company and the Delta Instruments and Graphic Store, besides Wolfe Marine and Salvage, and the 3 shrimp boats and the charter boat, besides all of the family's legitimate and prosperous businesses in Cameron County, what we do is deal in guns. Mostly through the landing, and mostly into Mexico. Been doing it for 100 years. We have a wide and dependable supply network, and can get almost any kind of firearm in almost any quantity. We do business with a variety of customers. But our biggest buyer is an organization called Los Jaguaros, which happens to be the Mexican side of our own family, almost all of whom live in Mexico City. They're descended from the same paternal line, and hence also named Wolfe. Many in the family have long referred to the lot of us as the House of Wolfe, an apt designation I've always liked. Guns aren't the only thing we smuggle, and smuggling is but one of our illicit enterprises, which we refer to collectively as the shade trade. Charlie's the head of its operations and answers only to the patriarchs of the Texas side of the family, the 3 uncles, who are the chief partners in the Wolfe Associates law firm and among the most highly esteemed trial lawyers in the state. What we don't smuggle is drugs, and very rarely people. Not only are drugs a commodity of which we disapprove, but also the trade attracts too many folk of irrational mentality and rash disposition. As for smuggling people, it's something of a rule with us not to transport anything that can talk, though every now and then we'll make an exception. We also do quite well in the business of identity documents, from the expertly forged to the officially issued. We can provide you with an entirely documented identity and life record from birth to the present day. Big seller, that package, and selling better all the time. In a world of increasing facility for bureaucracies to turn us into numbers and computerized data packets, it's only natural that a resentful and increasing bunch of us are feeding the machines lots of conflicting numbers and false data. You have to beat them at their own game. But our principal calling has always been gun running. Highly illegal, yes. But the way we see it, there are certain natural rights that transcend statute law, and the foremost of them is the right of self-defense. Without the right to defend yourself, and the right to possess the means to do it, all other supposed rights are so much hot air. There's more than a little truth to the old saying that neither God nor the Constitution made men equal. Colonel Colt did. Ergo, as we used to say in debate class, any law that denies you the means to defend yourself against others armed with those same means is an unjust law and undeserving of compliance, albeit not